Welcome back to another episode of the Guys Huddle live for 3 episodes in a row. Here with me today is EB. How we doing today, man?
I'm good. Nice to be back.
How about you, Big Timmy?
I'm doing great, just ready to talk about some wrestling, see where we can go from here. I'm curious to see who's all on everybody's Mount Rushmore. So let's get to it.
That Trey, we know you're excited for today. What's your favorite thing we're gonna be talking about today?
Oh man, I'm excited for the tag teams. That's probably one of my favorite parts is a good tag team, no matter if it's 2-on-2 or 10-on-10.
There's a lot of them, too.
Man, there's a lot, and they do some crazy shit.
I'm super excited for the tag teams. But for those of you who don't know, this is our WWE special today. We got an hour-long special here. So if we feel like if we missed somebody you wanted to hear about, or just drop it in the comments, we'll get going on it. But we're gonna go ahead and start out with Big Timmy today. This is one of his specialties. He loves it.
I get to start out.
Yeah. Hey, it's a privileged honor, so don't ruin it. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I know it doesn't happen very often. You don't only give up the mic for 5 seconds at all.
But Big Tim, you're going to start us out today. We're kind of going to go over our greatest of all times in different, singles competition, tag team,
Mount Rushmore.
Women's, like I said, Mount Rushmore. So without further ado, go ahead, Big Timmy.
All right, so how we're going to do this today is everybody's going to name their first one, and then we're going to kind of go down the line, explain why he's, well, not really.
We should do our groups on this one. It's a Mount Rushmore. It's only 4 people. I feel like we should do a group.
I mean, we can, but I just feel like it's going to be a lot more fluent the other way. But all right, anyways, so with my Mount Rushmore, the top of it is probably going to be John Cena. Obviously, 16-time champ. All of his were actually WWE or world titles. They weren't from somebody else's company, and the reason we're doing this is for WWE, so I'll definitely have him as my first one.
So real quick, there we going down the line.
I think we should do them like all your 4 and then move on.
Okay, that's fine. We can do that. Big Timmy.
My second one definitely had to be the Undertaker. His WrestleMania streak will probably never be done again. Sorry about that. And the amount of world title he's still been able to win. And also, as a wrestler, he didn't get the world title as much as everybody else because he didn't need it. He could put ass in seats without any championships.
Facts.
So that's why he'd be my number 2. My number 3 is going to be Randy Orton. I mixed this one up. It took a long time to figure out who my number 3 was going to be. But he does have 15 WWE/World Heavyweight Championships as well. And I think one day they're probably going to make him break Ric Flair's record. Only because John Cena is a part-time now, so he's the only one still doing it as long as he's done it. So I feel like eventually they're going to reward him for that. And then my last one would actually going to have to be Triple H. The reason why, for one, he mentored Randy Orton. So, I mean, without him, there's really not much of a Randy Orton. As well as he also had 14 championships, just world titles. Also is a Grand Slam champion. And, I mean, he didn't have to have the title either to have a great match, but for most of the 90s, I feel like when he had the title, the business was booming.
He's piping the boss's wife.
I mean, yeah, but even before he was doing that, he was still
but
doing
that was a cherry on top as far as he is the WWE as far
Yeah.
as accomplished everything.
He is and is in the WWE.
Yeah, I'm surprised you left off Stone Cold. I thought you was definitely putting him in yours.
No, definitely didn't put him in mine.
And that's why
He didn't wrestle long enough.
that's the best part about 4 people. You got to leave some people out.
Right.
So, people are going to get left out of this.
All right, EB, we're gonna go with you, and then we'll bounce back to Trey, and then we'll go me.
Okay.
That's just because he doesn't know who he wants yet.
Okay, so for me, I would definitely one is John Cena for sure. He is like he is what got me into wrestling, and he is like God to me at a very young age. And as you see, as far as influential and being great, he's made over 1,000 Make-A-Wishes for young underprivileged kids. Like that just says like a lot outside the ring. You know what I mean?
For sure.
He's just like I think WWE's biggest global icon like that there ever was. So I got him at 1. And then I got Undertaker, of course, the guy who used to scare the shit out of me every time.
Yeah, John Cena's your superhero. Undertaker was the villain.
Yeah, Undertaker, literally, as soon as the lights would go off and come back on and his ass was in the ring, I used to jump. So
I felt like they always put him on at 10 o'clock too, right about your bedtime, just to scare the crap out of you before you go to sleep.
Right. It's like, yeah, he used to actually get me scared. So, and he was a great wrestler and he's accomplished a lot. Of course, the WrestleMania streak, like you said. So he's definitely number 2. So 3 for me would be The Rock and the People's Champ. And it is just for someone who is electric in the ring, someone who is amazing on the mic. That's someone I got to watch, but not as much as I wanted to live. I spent hours watching his matches when I was a kid, the ones I didn't when it happened before I was born. So he's number 3. And my 4th one would have to be Randy Orton, legend killer, for sure. When John Cena being my favorite and my idol, there had to be someone to come and try to mess that up. Randy Orton was one of John Cena's biggest rivals, still is. So he always made me want to watch every time he was on, just as much as I wanted to watch John Cena. So
he was such a good villain that fans would be trying to jump over the barricade to kick his.
Literally, I had real beef with him, real beef with Randy.
Yeah, they were like, "Get off of him!"
Right, he used to punt old ladies in the head. I mean, like, bro, like, what is going on here? That's the kind of guy I'm trying to watch.
Got no particular order in mind, but I got The Rock on mine just because the crowd he drew in. He was always out there. I feel like main event, if there was something big going on, The Rock was about it. Everybody knows The Rock, even if you don't watch wrestling. Even if you don't have to know about it, but everybody knows it exists, and you know The Rock. You know, he a lot of known for movies, but he used to put people on the ground. I got John Cena in mind. Everybody should have John Cena. I feel like everybody's going. You ask anybody about John
What's
Cena.
crazy is nobody's put Ric Flair in their top 4.
Some people get left out.
Yeah.
But John Cena was an icon. He was the face of the league for the longest. I feel like I don't know another person who was just the face for as long as he was.
He big carried for a long time.
Yeah, like our whole generation. You still can't see
Roman
him.
Reigns right now, but I mean he's technically a heel, but yeah, right now he on this 1,000-day WWE championship.
Yeah, for sure.
But
But you know, our kids are gonna be making John Cena "You can't see me" memes about floating hats and how you can't see him. I got Randy Orton in mind just because the streak of the legends he went through. You can get online and find a shirt that's got every name he's ever beat on the back of a legend because he's the legend killer. If you were coming up, or if you were at the top when he was coming up, you were getting beat. You was gonna take an L sometime soon to this kid. It's just the narrative. He's coming in and he's beating your best guys. He has one of the most iconic moves. Everybody loves a good RKO out of nowhere.
Oh yeah,
He can do it from anywhere.
that's actually why he's injured right now.
Yeah,
He's got a pain in the lower back, and he doesn't know if he's actually gonna be able to do the RKO again.
Yeah, I read
We've heard that for years.
Yeah,
No, but
Years.
it's really came up. Like that's what he's still not back.
and he's gonna come out of nowhere when they say he's not allowed to do the move no more, and he's gonna hit somebody like Vince with it out of the blue. when
Yep,
he's
you're right. And
Talking his
then-
shit one day.
We're gonna be talking about him for the rest of our life as retired.
Yeah, hey,
I
but it's
think,
gonna
I think
happen.
he comes back. and he
Everybody's
starts-
got to retire.
He's got to come back and start punting everybody.
Yeah,
If he can't use the RKO, he might as well start kicking people's head off again. I mean, makes sense to me.
my last spot is a little biased, but I got Edge as my last on the Mount Rushmore. He's been in every big match that you can think of and put on a damn good show.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a good spear.
Oh man,
Everybody loves a good spear, and you can do. For some reason, the game breaks when you got a spear finisher, and you can store as many as you want because I ain't never seen nobody hit more spears than Edge. You know, he'll hit you with 6 in a row. Like you're only supposed to have 3 of those on deck, but you just keep getting up and getting speared again over and over. And he been lit on fire. He broke his neck, came back. I don't know. He's just a warrior and a face of the league, in my opinion.
Well, it take him 9 years after he broke his neck.
Yeah, and now he's back, and he just put on a killer Hell in a Cell against the Demon Finn Balor.
So first on my list is Randy Orton. I don't care what nobody says. That man's been doing it crazy for.
I know you've
too
been
many
dropped
years.
on your head a lot. But I
No,
wouldn't put him
Randy
number
Orton
one.
out of nowhere can hit that RKO. That I know he didn't originate that move.
Yeah, like that's happened to you before.
But what I'm saying is like there's like he can do that on anybody. It doesn't matter if you're 6'5", 5'4", like out of anywhere.
I bet he couldn't do it on almost.
I bet he could.
He's 7'3". I'd like to see him
I
jump up.
bet he could.
He's gonna hit him with
But-
what look like a Cody cutter. It's gonna be an RKO off the jump rope.
Randy Orton's going to win one more title, and then eventually him and John Cena are going to main event at WrestleMania.
What, when they're 60?
It won't be too
65.
much longer, but Randy Orton's number one for me.
Ew.
Number two, respectfully, The Undertaker, just because he's been around for so long. He literally just a few years ago just lost at WrestleMania, which I don't think was supposed to happen, but regardless of the fact, it happened. So Undertaker's been around longer than I've been alive. So next, I'm gonna have to go John Cena. That man is one of the best people on the mics. Like, I mean, he has done many for Make-A-Wish, but at the same time, he carried the business when nobody else did. So, simply for that reason. And The Rock. Like I said before on the podcast, it's not WrestleMania if The Rock isn't rumored to come back. The Rock's just that guy. He's electrifying. He's that guy. So that's
I just didn't have him or Stone Cold. I just didn't think they wrestled.
Dude,
well
no one
enough.
had Hulk Hogan either.
The
no.
reason I didn't have him or Stone Cold is because I mean they did great while they were there. I just don't think, as far as longevity goes, they got in and they got out. Stone Cold's really wasn't his fault, but The Rock pretty much used it to propel his career, which I would have done too. But he hasn't been in the WWE long enough for me to make that onto my Mount Rushmore. So
We got T Woody in the comments says I'm finna cry. but
nobody did Hulk Hogan. Nobody put Ric Flair.
yeah.
Oh, my honorable mention is actually Chris Jericho though.
Oh, we're
Oh,
doing
dude, no.
honorable mentions.
No one put Shawn Michaels in there, man.
Yeah, everybody can do one honorable mention. Mine's gonna be Chris Jericho.
Who you got, EB?
I got to think about this. My honorable mention.
I mean, Chris Jericho has the most Intercontinental titles. Has won like 6 or 7 tag team titles. I believe is a 7-time world champion.
United them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, first ever undisputed champion. He beat The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night for both titles.
Only
Yeah,
person,
which is
or not
crazy.
only person, but the first person
First
to
person
unite
to
them,
do it. Yep.
get both belts, and he did it in the same night against 2 guys on everybody's Mount Rushmore.
Stone Cold's my honorable mention. That's the one person who didn't give a fuck about anything. So he's
the only person.
but he's the one who put two birds in your face and then beat your ass, then drink a beer on top of your dead body.
Yeah, yeah.
So he
Great
came,
explanation.
He came and kicked your ass in a different type of way. Like, I'm about to come and whip the panties off your ass. So.
I ain't never seen a 6-pack sit on top of beer belly like that.
And then every time, did he ever miss a catch when them threw them beers?
Oh no, he
Never,
did the
ever,
last time. He did
never.
like when he came back for WrestleMania.
Oh, he was
Straight
washed.
to- yeah,
He was
yeah.
washed.
He was washed.
But-
I know he was the oldest person to ever main event WrestleMania though.
right. Yeah. But it's just
And people were still there to see him, and he was like 56 or something like that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, that just shows like the kind how he was, like his aura and like what his legs.
Oh no, you know why I knew he was old? He drove his 4-wheeler down the WrestleMania ramp. He was not about to run down that thing.
Hell no. You got the big ass kneecap still on too. You gotta take your steps wisely, man.
Dude, my honorable mention, because this in my opinion, my Mount Rushmore isn't off of goats or the best. It's about, Mount Rushmore is idols, people who was good and everything. I'm putting in Rey Mysterio because nobody was nobody was bringing the small guys around like him. Like now it's fun to watch the little guys.
Dom in there.
But I think Rey Mysterio really put little guys on the map, beat people like the Big Show.
I think his
in
son's better.
singles. Screw off. Fuck you.
My honorable mention's Dave Batista.
Ooh,
Oh,
He's that guy, man.
Man.
Yes.
In tag teams and singles match, he just took over, man, and he did not give a fuck, not one bit.
Man,
Like,
being so much older than my little brother, I can't name how many Batista bombs he caught growing up, man. It was just so he was so little, bro. He was
I haven't
just-
counted, but I've caught a few.
See, no, I didn't catch none of those. I got super kicked and code break more times than I could think.
Yeah, no
Super
shit. You
kicks-
give Patrick a Batista bomb, you're gonna have Randy Orton problems next week.
Hey, no, I was skinny at one point.
Ugh. So
That was my freshman year, maybe.
next, I want to move to like regular, like non-champion best people, like singles competition.
People who have never won the belt,
Yeah.
never won a belt.
No.
Oh, man, you're
Well, not necessarily never won the belt, but best
narrow that down.
best is like I mean, with or without the championship kind of people.
Oh, okay.
I feel like we should have done that one with
First.
and without first, and then moved to just with the championship.
Well, we started with championships, so we're gonna have to
Well,
go
I
on the
didn't.
fly.
I did not, but go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
You lead it off then.
all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
So number one, I got is Shawn Michaels. He's like another person like The Rock. He loves to talk. He loves to get people going. He's entertaining to watch. You know, I don't know one kid that every time he wasn't coming down the ring, they started going, or, you know. Same
I'm not
thing.
sure it sounded like that.
no.
Continue.
But Shawn Michaels loves watching him super kicks out of nowhere. If anybody doesn't know, or that they got that clip with him and Triple H trying to figure out what's going on with Shawn Michaels, and they're backstage, and he's like, "Hey, what's your name?" Stan. Nice to meet you, Stan. Pow! I just kicked Stan. You know, that's so memorable for me. That lives
Said-
rent free.
He said we don't even know what the word controversial means. He said, I'm very controversial.
Next person, this is a hot take right here. You know, we're gonna go ahead and edit that.
Don't you do it.
The Miz deserves some
Oh my
respect.
God.
The Miz.
Get your real world looking ass out here.
The Miz is carried, in my opinion. He's took a Tom Brady deal
What has he carried? His wife? I don't
Listen.
even think he can do that.
for not being in the championship spotlight. He's carried the company on like the Intercontinental title, the United States title.
I watched him get knocked out by Dexter Loomis one time. Twice.
We're
I've
talking
watched
about
him
his
go to
twice.
sleep a couple
But,
times.
We're talking about his talk show because that's all I really remember.
No, the Miz.
He's good on the mic and he's won a fair share of titles.
Yes,
but
the Miz is that guy. So I just want to be the first to say.
if
that.
you're talking about he's mid, yeah, you're right.
Miz is
The
the type of
Miz.
person Stone Cold comes back and whips his candy ass just for one night.
Yeah, like he'll come back on his 60th birthday, hit him with a stunner, and walk out.
Okay. Well, for those of you who don't know, Vaughn is actually joining in the stream today. Can you hear us, Vaughn?
I sure can. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
we
sir.
can.
Can somebody tell this
Okay.
man to get
Alright.
his out of his top
All right, Vaughn,
five?
we're gonna get you on here in a second, but we're going over our champion people we think are the best, and I just started this out
I
here.
can't
Vaughn.
We're doing
believe you put
champions
the
and
Miz on
non-champions.
there.
You're confusing me.
We're
kills
like
me.
either or, they were good whether they had the belt or not.
Oh, okay.
That's what we're going right
I
now.
was like, because now you're confusing me.
Next person I have on my list is Jeff Hardy.
I knew you were
Jeff
going to
Hardy.
say
Now,
that.
granted, he has not had the greatest road with alcohol abuse and some other things. that
Hey,
kinda
his
take
question
him
should
from-
be: is he good with or without alcohol?
So Jeff Hardy was one of the greatest, I think, in singles competition without the belt. You know, he deserves a push, but at the same time, he always messes it up one way or another. They say he is sober and everything's good right now in AEW, so I hope for the best. For
You've
him.
heard Booker T, right? He said 5 times, 5 times. Yeah, I've heard that about 5 times.
So, so that's who I got for my next one, and the last one I have is Chris Jericho. He kind of reminds me of the same person as Shawn Michaels is, but
That's not in order, is it?
no, not necessarily in order. no.
Good, because there's no way
You just
put
made the list.
Jericho.
So
There's no way.
listen,
The guy that invented the list, you put him last on the list.
hey, look, but it's mine. You know what I'm saying? It's my opinion. So you over here hating on my opinion, Big Timmy?
Oh, I'm going to all night long.
All right. So EB, we're gonna start with you.
Okay, so I would have to say, not in any particular order, but I'm going to go Bobby Lashley. And Bobby Lashley, when I was a kid, my brother really put me on to Bobby Lashley. Every time Bobby Lashley was there when I was young, he put it on. He was an amazing wrestler, performer. He wasn't always the greatest on the mic, but every time Bobby Lashley wrestled, it's just, he put on great matches.
I'm talking about Spears. He cut your body
you
in
wanna talk
half.
about Spears, Bobby Lashley. And number 2, I'm gonna go Jeff Hardy for sure.
Oh, okay. Some respect out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Jeff Hardy was, when you talk about in a different way, like Mick Foley put his body on the line and like did it, whatever it took. Jeff Hardy was our era of that.
Yes.
So he just was.
Every
Like-
time that man does a swanton now, I feel for him. Like he looks like it hurts.
Remember the Swanton Bomb he hit on
Randy Orton?
Randy Orton on the
I think-
entrance?
Yeah.
That was one of
Epic.
my
He also hit
favorites.
Umaga with one off of a billboard sign.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he took. And then I would say this one is a real recent one. Cody Rhodes. I would go Cody Rhodes because he went from AEW. He started with WWE. He went and made a run there. He's back on WWE. He's putting on great shows. I always loved when he ran with Orton and Ted DiBiase Jr. So I always liked Cody Rhodes.
Old legacy.
Oh, legacy. So for the fact that he could switch from AEW back to WWE and he still puts fans in seats, and I'm glad he's back in the WWE. So he's 3. And my 4th would be Shawn Michaels too. The Heartbreak Kid Yeah, DX. He's been a part of some of the biggest factions, some of the best tag teams, but he was never, a multiple. How many world titles did he win?
They might have won like 2 or 3.
Yeah, so he was never winning world titles, but
You don't need to.
Yeah, he don't need to.
He's
He
the
was
showstopper.
the showstopper. So, yeah, that's exactly why he's up
Or
there.
Mr. WrestleMania. He's got 1,000 of them, but you said that was your 4th?
Yep, that's my 4th.
So mine is actually going to go Seth Rollins. And that's because he's won a few world titles in his period, but he hasn't won a world title in over at least 1,000 days because Roman Reigns has had it, and he's still the second, like the top guy on Raw. And outside of Roman Reigns, he's been the top guy his whole entire career. So, and he still managed to win other titles. He's Grand Slam champion as well. So he's on there, and then next I'll probably have Chris Jericho. Obviously, has won the most Intercontinental titles ever. First undisputed champion, like I talked about earlier. And he beat The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night. I mean, that alone almost gets you on the list. As well as he won 7 world titles and I believe 6 tag team championships. So he's just an all-around performer. And even when he doesn't have the belt, he's still able to put ass in seats. So, and then my 3 would definitely have to be Shawn Michaels, Mr. WrestleMania, the showstopper. The list goes on with that. Heck, he's had so many different kind of matches. But he was in the first ever Hell in a Cell match. Yeah, I believe it was him and the Undertaker. He just came back from his broken neck, and that's the match he decided to do.
That just shows like the type of person, like fighter Shawn Michaels is. Like,
He's that guy.
well, he's that guy.
Yep. Okay, and then my last one. So I did that. I'm trying to think. Sorry, the last one's kind of difficult for me. There's a few that are right there, and I'm actually going to go with. Sorry, that definitely took a minute. We're going to go with Kevin Owens.
I like that pick.
And also because he can fit in anywhere. If you need him to be a tag team champion, he'll be a tag team champion. You need him to win the U.S. title. If you need him to go down to NXT, he'll go down there and kick a bunch of motherfuckers in the head, come back. He doesn't need the world title, and he's only had it a couple times in his whole career, but he's still one of the top guys.
Well, I'm upset you put him in there because I was going to say I got a whole list and some but people no one said. But then at the end, he came in with Kevin Owens. So Kevin Owens on my list for the don't matter who's got the belt at the time. He's always a show. Like he grouped up with Sami Zayn back in the day. It was a hit. He did it again. It was a hit. I don't know.
Them two remind me of Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
If they're fighting, if they're on teams, either way you're watching, you want to see what's going on.
Yeah, and he's just like Kevin Owens, a guy I can see winning any match. Any match against any bird.
Yeah, so I put him up against anybody, honestly.
Yeah, again with the belt, without the belt,
wise for
any
sure.
match, tables match, ladder match,
on the mic, anything.
Yeah, he's a big guy. You can throw him in a Hell in a Cell. He'll jump off that motherfucker. He'll fuck around a steel cage match, jump to the top, and instead of jumping over, he's jumping back in.
For sure.
I got Eddie Guerrero in mind.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because no matter what you did, you watched Latino Heat. Ride his lowrider down the ramp.
Your ass, you did.
It didn't matter who was fighting, who he was fighting. You might not have known the other guy, but Eddie Guerrero was fighting tonight. Yes, and he just had swag, man. He had everybody going. I got Taker in mind because just for the simple fact that this is about if they had the belt or not, and he wrestled a billion times at WrestleMania with no belt.
Way many. Way
so,
too many times.
And he main evented WrestleMania.
Yeah, he didn't just
fight.
Belt. He main evented. The biggest fight of the night is supposed to be Taker with no belt. Nothing's on the line here. He's just fighting.
Oh, it's streak.
But
for the first couple ones,
it was just him main eventing. And at my 4th spot, I got Mick Foley. He always
he deserves an honorable mention. For
does he have? Like I know he's probably won a title. Does he have
like 1 or 2?
Yeah, I was about to say, does he have multiple title wins? We're talking about no
at
matter
least
if
one. I know for sure.
I was about to say he never really even got his chance, but he was always like he's a Hall of Famer. With
are you picking like all 3 egos or just?
Yeah, that's what I'm calling him as a human.
I'm just curious.
I need to know
as a
human. Like, there's Dude Love. There's
not just Mick Foley the wrestler, as a human, because he is 4 people.
Mankind.
He's everybody. And
Cactus
and they all got
He's
something
my
else.
favorite,
Like you know how good you got to be.
And there's actual Mick Foley too, so I guess you can count that as like 4.
You know how good you got to be to go out there and be a different guy.
Yeah, and the thing is he could be a different guy in one promo.
Yeah.
I remember him and Triple H had a promo, and it was Dude Love, I believe, in him, and he was like, and I don't think you're gonna like this guy, but I think you remember who he is. And then he starts taking his stuff off and has Cactus Jack stuff on.
Like they
And
could have,
Triple H just looks stunned. If Triple H doesn't look stunned, that doesn't go over at all.
if they would have thought of this, they could have done a Mick Foley versus Mick Foley promo. He could have been out there arguing with himself as a different character, and it would have cut.
Or he could have
It
had
was.
like if they had taped it on the screen.
Yeah,
like,
it-
him on the Tron arguing with himself. Yeah,
But I'm gonna throw him in there as my honorable mention on this one, just because I wanted to squeeze him in. I got Kurt Angle as my extra one in there
Kurt Angle.
because your ankle's hurt after that match, and
You guys
everybody in
suck.
the world yells "you
You
suck"
suck.
anytime.
Do you
his
guys
face
remember
pops
when
up.
you might not remember this because I believe I'm the oldest one here. But when Kurt Angle remade Shawn Michaels theme music,
No.
he's singing. He said, "I'll make your ankle hurt."
Vaughn, who you got in your 5 there?
Oh, you guys ready for this?
Oh boy,
Well, let's
All
hear
right. First
I-
off,
I
my
don't have a seatbelt,
all-time
but-
favorite wrestler goes by
Don't-
two
don't
different
you do it.
names. It's going to be Daniel Bryan or
Oh,
Bryan
jeez.
Danielson. Whatever one you want to go off. Let's go with the yeses. You can't see me, but yes. Man is my all-time favorite wrestler.
Knew that was
Probably my second, just from nostalgic. That'd probably be Jeff Hardy. I grew up watching that man wrestle. It was great.
Some respect on that.
Yeah, he holds a very deep place in my heart. So it's one of my favorite wrestlers. I know good that he's sober right now. So hallelujah to that.
for a few more months.
Next is one of my favorite wrestlers as well. We're gonna go with John Cena, and watch that man through the ages wrestle. So I mean, you can't see me. You've seen him change all his finisher names over the years. Great man, does a lot of stuff outside of the WWE. Obviously, he's in a lot of movies, but he also does a lot of work for charities that he does as well.
Yeah.
Let's go. That's 3.
I
Next,
know who's coming.
next will probably be HBK. I'm one of the older wrestlers.
Right.
That's who I really like a lot. That sweet chin music. And I always used to create a character that was the special that I would use all the time.
You mean use on me?
And then lastly, this is probably gonna
What
be a
about
shock to all
creating
you
characters?
guys.
Kick your brothers in the face.
So, honestly, he's kind of he's not a new wrestler because he's been around for some time. But just all the stuff he's done since he's been back, I think Cody Rhodes is gonna make it in that top 5 of my list.
Right. That's a good one for sure.
So he's done a lot since he's been back. I'm really pushing for him to get a title, and I think he's gonna get one in the next, at least sometime in the next coming year by WrestleMania 40. So there you go.
Big Timmy's hating on your picks, Vaughn.
No, I was just
I
saying
bet he
clear
is.
the honorable mention because we were supposed to do 4 an honorable mention.
Oh, my bad. So
No,
then
you're
I
right.
guess my honorable mention will be Cody Rhodes. So
All right, so we're gonna slide into the now. We're gonna set the expectations here, just so we're all clear. We're sliding in the tag teams, but that is with factions included.
Doesn't matter. Stable.
Ryan's gonna make a lot of people mad.
triple
Vaughn.
tag team, 8-man in it.
Vaughn, we're gonna start you off on this one.
Yeah, you're the oldest now, so you probably know some of the best tag teams, and maybe some of us wouldn't.
and how many we doing?
We're gonna do your top 4.
And an honorable mention.
Oh man, top 4, man. Okay, I've already.
If you want, we can come back.
This is a tough one.
No, it's gonna be the Hardy Boys as number 1. I mean,
Yes, put
Come
some
on.
respect on it.
so that's obviously. I mean, I grew up watching these guys wrestle, and another one is right next to them. I grew up watching them wrestle too. Is D-Generation X. I mean, come on. We all went around younger, the whole suck it thing. So,
Yeah, I think I've been suspended for that once or twice.
And many more.
so probably next we will go with Team Rock and Sock. It didn't last very long, but it was great. So I mean, just an odd, that should have been my honorable mention, but I mean, they're up there. Let's go with next will be Team Hell No.
Yep. See,
So-
he saw it coming.
I'm 2 for 2. I'm 2 for
Yeah.
2.
Hey, Daniel Bryant was in that tag team. That's the
Yeah,
only reason I'm
there's a
picking
reason.
that
I was waiting for his name to get called somewhere. I was waiting for it.
one. And then probably last is not really an up and coming tag team, but no, they're most definitely not an up and coming tag team. But they have changed the tag team dynamic in the WWE from what it was to what it can be, and it's the New Day. So I mean, they're great. They're phenomenal. I mean, they keep everybody entertained. So, and they haven't broken up yet.
Yeah,
I think if Big E comes back the way he comes back, is he comes back and beats up Kofi and Xavier.
that'd be crazy to make
I
him
don't
heel
think
and
so,
break him
but
up.
we'll see.
I love the Rock and Sock. I
Yeah,
love
that's
that
a good
one.
one, yeah.
I love that one.
You have your honorable mention?
I did 5.
Oh,
The
Yeah,
Rock
you
and
said-
talking. He said he
okay.
would.
Yeah, my bad.
So I'm gonna go next here. First one I got on the top of the list, and this is in no particular order, I guess, but this
He
is
said
on the
at
top
the
of my
top,
list.
but it's not in particular.
I got the Shield, man. They came in and take over. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like the next biggest thing. Like the Shield and their 3 world champions between the 3 of them. I don't know how many titles they have, but they definitely are.
Together, they had like 2 tag teams and a U.S. champion.
For those of you who don't know, they made their debut in Indianapolis, Indiana. So shout out to that. The next, I got the Hardys coming in next. I don't think there's a better tag team duo, at least in my opinion, other than the Hardys. They got so much chemistry, poetry in motion, all that fun stuff. So next, I got DX. Like you said before, I don't think anybody hasn't told a teacher to suck it in here. With that, got suspended, sent down the principals, you name it. The next, I got the New Day. They've been one of the longest continuing tag teams, and I believe they're up there for title runs. I don't know exactly how many they have, but as far as like how many times they've had it. So my honorable mention,
WWE, they have the most.
my honorable mention for that is going to be Rated RKO. So I think they were a good team when they were on the same page. So, but that's my honorable mention there. Who you got, EB?
Okay, so this isn't going to be in any particular order, but of course, I'm going to start it off with DX, of course. DX was just, they would come through and just run shit anytime they wanted to. It don't matter who was in the ring talking, they're going to come in there and tell your ass to suck it. So they're easily number 1. Number 2, the Hardy Boys, of course. Jeff Hardy, big carried, but Matt Hardy was up there with him. They were a great tag team, brothers. My favorite set of brothers ever be in the WWE. So I would go them, and then I would go Evolution. And the reason is because I know one night everybody remembers them mainly for that one night. They won all the belts in one night. But when you think of what happened for their careers after that, for guys like Batista, Randy Orton, what they became after that, and even Triple H, even his career even grew since then. Ric Flair was already established, but that's just a killer faction. So I'm going them at 3. And then my number 4, just like Ryan, Rated RKO. I love them when they were Randy Orton and Edge. They were just your perfect bad duo to ready to come fuck up your favorite, like a John Cena, come to ruin John Cena's night or something, so. And then my honorable mention for one night, John Cena and Randy Orton versus the entire WWE roster.
Oh man, I remember that.
Yes, sir.
He said, "Y'all gonna work together and figure the fuck out, or you're not gonna figure it out." One of the two.
If I'm sure most of us watch that, and if you do, you remember there, and you can't even count how many guys were on that apron ready to come in and beat their ass. So for them to go against the whole Raw roster, that's my honorable mention.
Oh, okay, I like that. Big Timmy,
I
go
didn't
ahead.
think of that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, I would have never pictured that, but I like that.
So my number 1 is actually the Dudley Boys.
Yeah, they were nice.
Everybody
Get
sleep
the
on
table.
Yeah. Get the tables, flip the tables, whichever, I definitely got them. Outside of the New Day, they actually have the most world tag team title reigns. That's outside the WWE and inside the WWE. So definitely got to put them on there. And then I have the Hardy Boys, of course. Can't miss them. All the different kind of matches they've had. Actually, them 2 tag teams together took part in a triple threat TLC match, the
Greatest
first
tag
one
team
ever.
match alive.
Yeah, not the greatest ladder match, but the greatest tag team.
Greatest tag team match.
Just want to make sure. And then, so for my 3rd, I would actually go with the New Day. Obviously, it inspired so many people. They do a bunch of stuff for Make-A-Wish as well. They also have the most tag team titles in WWE history.
That's huge.
So that's why I put them on there. And then my number 5 is actually going to be probably an unpopular opinion, but I have the Harlem Heat.
Okay.
Is anybody?
I don't even know who the Harlem Heat is.
It's Booker T and his brother.
Okay.
Yeah, they won I believe they won 5 or 6 WCW World Championships, and they came to WWE and won a couple as well. So And then for my honorable mention, I would have to go with Edge and Christian. They
For
also
sure.
took part in that crazy ladder match. They had a few crazy matches. But yeah, they're definitely going to be my honorable mention.
Yeah, I got a little combo of everybody's, I guess. I got the Shield in mind just because, like Ryan said, the way they came out, bro, it's like, could anybody beat it? Like, at that time in the WWE, it looked like you could put the 3 best guys we got, and
Well, I mean,
was
they
getting
put
tore
like
up.
John Cena, who was it? John Cena, because John Cena made his own little team of Survivor Series
Yeah.
just to go against them.
And the Shield just looked like they would pick you apart. Like, they was the most rawest dogs out there. Like, it was insane watching them fight, too, because it almost looked malicious. Like, they looked like 3 robots out there. Didn't none of them smile. And none of them get hyped. They just beat ass all match long, and it was
Come
crazy.
through the crowd.
And
just
in
to beat his ass.
their combo of finishers and everything was crazy. Like, you can get Superman punched in this match. You could get speared. You might get curb stomped. That's gonna hurt.
DDT.
Yeah, you could get DDT. You was fighting a human being Hulk, a man that belonged in a crazy place, and whatever you want to call Seth Rollins at the time, he was a menace.
Architect.
Yeah, there you go. You know, like they were bad dudes. I got the Hardy Boys in mind. Everybody does. Everybody should. Everybody knows the story. I got Edge and Christian up there in mind just because I'm so high on Edge. I think they was great together. I think the duo, the look, you know what I'm saying? They was a good picture perfect tag team. And the Evolution rounds my 4 out just because.
I can't believe we both missed DX.
Yeah, I was hoping that slipped and no one called me on that. But I got Evolution in mind simply for the fact that if there was no script, who's beating that for? Who's beating up that for right there?
Oh, we get Brock Lesnar, John Cena.
I'm calling in the troops. I got Brock, Roman,
Batista.
John, and
You just brought in 4 human statues.
okay, yeah, and then
That's insane though. Like
and then
that's-
Kevin
And,
Owens.
and if you would have brought them 2 in at that time, they'd have been like 14 and 15.
yeah, like they were just 4 raw wrestlers, not even supposed to really like who I'd
No,
guys
at
together.
that point, I would have put Brock, Bobby, John Cena, and obviously anybody that
Is huge.
Yeah.
Anyone who has a
in the big
16-inch
show. In the big
chest.
show. Oh.
My honorable mention though, no one named them. I'm gonna throw the Usos in there just because the fact that
Yeah.
if you watch them
It's a-
fight,
We the one.
yeah,
They're
they
carrying now, so.
they come out so hype and so turnt, and then once the bell rings, they're malicious and they will murder your chin with the bottom of their foot.
Oh, I promise, dude. You'll get kicked 17 times.
Man, I watched Sami Zayn take so many that I thought it'd be like one of them skeleton memes where his jaw just fell off. I thought it was gonna happen.
And that man
That's
still won the
my
title.
honorable mention.
What was that, Vaughn?
I said, and Sami Zayn still won that title.
With no jaw.
Yeah.
His head still hurts.
He just does this when it swings all around.
All right, so for the next one, we're gonna go greatest women's competition. Like we're gonna go top 4 in history goats. It doesn't have to be with champion or without, just because that's kind of fluctuated with the titles over the years. But Big Timmy, we're gonna start with you.
Oh, you're gonna start with me again?
Yep.
Okay.
You're making you start with the women.
So nice I get to do it twice, huh?
Yep.
All right. So with the women, I'm gonna have to go Charlotte Flair, and not that particular order, but she is number 1. There's no way to deny it. She's already won 14 championships, way faster than her dad did.
Yeah.
It took her dad most of his career to get to that number, and she's already got 14 titles, and probably still has 10 to 15 more years wrestling if she wants to. She could retire right now and be in the Hall of Fame tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
She might be the GOAT women if she retires.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like she could do it now, and nobody's gonna catch her anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm saying.
So I would go her. Then I would go Trish Stratus, because she kind of started the women's revolution way back in the day.
Gotta have.
She had the most championships, and I believe maybe Mickey James beat her, and then Charlotte, but I could be wrong on that one. But them 2 are right there. As well as I just said her name, Mickey James would be 3 on my list. Obviously, she helped the women's revolution. She beat up Trish a few times as well, and won her fair share of titles all over
She
the place.
was sexy.
Yeah, I mean that's just a plus. I wasn't gonna say that. I'm glad somebody did.
Yeah.
And then number four would have to be Becky Lynch. She won the very first ever women's main event at WrestleMania and took both titles. Becky 2 belts.
Yeah, it's
I'm about to say Becky 2 belts.
Oh my God.
So that'll round out my top 4. My honorable mention would be Lita.
Yeah.
Big Timmy,
wondering.
stay the fuck out of my
It
head.
had to be Lita or Sasha Banks.
I'm
but-
not even sure we have any kind of different.
Yeah, I was about to
picks
say,
there.
I wanna
I
go
was about to
next.
say the same thing. I don't even think
Yeah,
we got a
just for the simple
difference.
fact that the women's is going to be a lot of the same. I want to get mine out of the way. I got Trish in mine as well. I got Lita in my top
I
4.
thought it was gonna be the same. We should do in order because mine was pretty much in order.
Yeah, I get it. But I mean, even then,
It still might be the
even
same.
then,
Huh?
yeah. I feel like
I got one
Trish,
for y'all. Don't worry.
Trish, like everybody said, led the women's revolution in the WWE. Made them speak up, made them get good matches. You know, brought some talent in. Back then, it was just if you were attractive, you could fight. If you wore tight clothing, I mean, that's how it was. But she brought some
I
actual
mean-
skill into it. Yeah, she did that too. But
Yeah,
she,
no, I was gonna say. I mean, do you see who was owning it? I mean, obviously,
yeah, I get it. I got Lita in there because she was a badass.
She wrestled with the Hardys for a while.
Yeah, exactly. She was hardcore. She would really beat you up. She didn't care to look good in the ring. She just
That
wanted to go in there and
moonsault she
beat you
did.
up.
Also, shout out to her.
Don't-
She has
don't-
the best team entrance from any woman.
Don't forget about her and Edge either.
Yeah, Zach's
got
like,
piped down in that ring.
I got Charlotte in mind for obvious reasons, being a championship run. In my 4th spot to round it out, I got Sasha Banks.
see, that's what I was debating on.
I think she's gonna have a good run. It's hard to put nowadays. I think that nowadays women division is great, but it's hard to put them on a Mount Rushmore because they don't have the history.
Except for Charlotte, she's the
Yeah. And honorable mention, I got in my honorable mention spot Beth Phoenix, but I'm gonna, since I just went out there and put a new wrestler, I'm gonna put Rhea Ripley because I think she is going to be
she's a dog. Yeah,
I think she is going to be a dog, but I had to say Beth Phoenix name because she could beat up some of the men in the roster. Like people, just
I mean,
throwing
she could
names.
probably
People like
keep
the
up
Miz,
with, like,
you know.
if it was her in her prime versus Rhea Ripley, that'd be a main event, right?
Yeah, I know. She probably beat somebody like the Miz up. You know?
No problem. She would. I think I've seen her just recently. I think he took a glam slam, at least one.
So, man,
Don't worry, we'll wait.
No, like that's just like
Because he took the one that he was.
we literally have the same list. Trey just said my honorable mention, but I got the Mickey James. I got her. She's one of the ones we watched growing up there.
I was the only one that wouldn't laugh when you said that earlier.
Charlotte Flair. I mean, she's been back champion. She came back from injury. She's been killing it since. Becky Lynch. I mean, there's not much to say. I mean, she's up there with Charlotte as well. Lita obviously wrestled with the Hardys, and obviously Edge and her had her own little thing going on there.
Yeah.
It's just about this
Trish Stratus, huh? She got a sister or something on my about?
She's in there as well as an honorable mention with Beth Phoenix. So those are mine. Who we got, EB?
You put her as an honorable mention.
It's really like you can't really break away from any of those names. So Trish Stratus for sure, for setting the example, for leading the way for wrestlers like Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch to be great as a woman. So I'm going her, and then Charlotte Flair for sure, a 14-time world champion. That's solidified. Like Patrick was saying earlier, she's got to be on that list. So she's 2. Easily said, enough said. So 3 be Lita, of course. She was one of those dogs like Trish Stratus and Mickey James was when we were growing up. So it like really hit because it was when we were really watching growing up. So Lita for sure. And then Mickey James, just because she was at the top around the time when Lita and them a little after. So she was coming up. So she just did a lot and they won. She was top dog. So I can't really say much difference than what everybody else already said. So
did we get Vaughn on here yet?
Yeah, Vaughn, who you got there? Vaughn, you still with us?
Well, wait, I actually have another honorable mention.
My bad.
Nikki Bella.
Okay,
Forgot all about them.
Who we got, Vaughn?
All right, so to start my list off, obviously with nostalgia, probably going to be Lita. So, I mean, just obviously growing up watching her, we already said some of the stuff about the Edge, the Hardy Boys, all that fun stuff.
Zach's got that video on his phone.
Whatever. Second will be Charlotte. I mean, you guys have all said it numerous amount of times. She's a 14-time champion. She is one of the best in the business, and she is the daughter to Ric Flair. I mean, look, she had something to prove, and she proved it.
Crazy, she
next
made
is gonna
look similar to that, didn't.
Next, we're probably going to be Becky Two Belts. So, I mean, the man. I mean, whatever you want to call her, she does a great job in the ring. She started from like I didn't think they were gonna push her, and they pushed her, and look what happened. So, then it's probably gonna go to Mickey James. Obviously grew up watching her as well. It was great watching that and everything. And then Trey, I might say your honorable mention and say Rhea Ripley. She's an up and coming star, and she's gonna do great things.
Well,
So.
All right, so we got a comment from Ty Cox. It says Stacy Keebler, man.
Hey, we're talking about wrestling, Ty. All right.
And then Evan Wilkins put the up arrow for Ty's comments. So, but next we're gonna go to heels. We're gonna go best heel, top 4 heels in my opinion. So, Vaughn, you want to start us off?
Man, you ready for this?
All right, let's hear it.
Randy
You get an
freaking
honorable
Orton.
mention too. Oh yeah.
You said what?
Randy Orton. That man is diabolical. Everything he does heel-wise is great. He's probably one of the best heels in the business.
Okay, who we get next?
Yeah, I like Daniel Bryan as a heel too.
I knew that.
The world's champ.
I was looking
The planet's champion.
champion.
Yeah,
put some
I
respect
missed that.
on it.
That's my bad. With that recycled belt, it was great. Brock Lesnar does great heel work. He's usually 9 out of 10 times always a heel, and we know
Can we
that.
put
And if
Paul
that man's
Heyman
coming
over
out,
there?
he's coming out to beat
we
you up.
can't put Paul Heyman.
So,
Let's go.
probably more recently, he's not a heel right now. I guess it's like in between, but I like Seth Rollins as a heel as well. He makes you hate him. So when he's a heel, and that's exactly what they're supposed to do.
Does a great job.
So,
Who's your honorable mention?
man, honorable mention. I guess we're probably gonna go half with the tribal chief.
No.
You know, I mean,
Okay.
either you love him or you hate him. But dear God, he has almost had the champion for 1,000 days, which is the longest in our wrestling span time we've watched it. So
I just hope he doesn't beat his grandpa's record, because if he beats his grandpa's record, we'll be watching him for 3 more years.
well, you know, if he beats everybody's record, we watch him 2028. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's not.
So I'm gonna go ahead and start with my top 4 and my honorable mention. First one on my list is Randy Orton. There's no explanation needed for that. Him and John Cena had very many
You guys are asleep.
great promos there. Next one I have is CM Punk.
All right,
Yeah.
took that one.
CM Punk. There's rumors he's coming back. I don't know for sure if that's
Nope,
gonna actually
he
happen.
just showed up on AEW.
Oh, we did? Okay. But CM Punk's number 2 there for me. Number 3 is going to have to be Brock Lesnar with the assist of Paul Heyman. If you don't have Paul Heyman, I don't consider him to be one of the greatest heels. So, in my opinion. Number 4, this is where it gets interesting here. I think Chris Jericho is one of the best heels there. I think he does a great show. Him and HBK had some memorable matches as well.
I know I got some nobody else has got. I'm ready for this one.
All right, and my honorable mention. You ready for it? Dave Bautista.
Bruh.
When that man went off, when that man just went like nuts, it looked like roid rage. The best way I can put it there.
Look like
Yeah, I was gonna say that same thing.
But who we got, EB?
Okay, so I'm definitely going Randy Orton, number 1. He just came out, and I hated Randy Orton at first, and then I learned to like him when I got older, because when I was a kid, I was like, it's up when I see him. Every time I watched him, I wanted John Cena to put hands on him every time.
Yeah, that's right. He made such a good villain.
Right.
He beat your favorite up.
And then Triple H went in his home and beat that ass. So I really liked it, Triple H, for doing that. So Randy Orton 1. 2, I'm going Shawn Michaels, and I'm going for something.
Hey, man,
I'm going for something that happened a long time ago before the DX, when what was his partner's name? And he kicked him. He kicked him
Jannetty?
through the glass. Yeah.
Yeah.
So even from there, that was just like no one expected.
Before bro got hurt, he's probably the best heel in the business.
Right.
He came back to more of a face deal before bro got hurt. He was such a heel that nobody even liked him in the locker room. He was just always an asshole.
Literally. So he was already doing that. He was already betraying back then. So he has to be right there. So 3, I would go CM Punk. because he held that belt for too damn long. And I used to always hate it, like how long he would just keep retaining it to the point where he was like, I'm about to win and then retire and take the belt with me. I was like, hell no, bro, you tripping. So
He said you better bring that damn belt
right,
back.
you better bring that belt
He's
back.
I'm taking
for
my
sure.
belt and going home.
Right. So he was a great performer, don't get twisted, but it was just I didn't like how he was like Roman Reigns before Roman Reigns in a way. So my 4 is easily Edge. And it's because, like I said, the reason you love John Cena so much is because of his rivalries with guys like Edge and Randy Orton. So Edge, you would take the spinner belt title from John Cena. I'm pretty sure he was the first one to do it. So I always disliked him because of my love for John Cena. And I'm not sure on an honorable mention. I would have to say Seth Rollins. Yeah, Seth Rollins could definitely be because the heist of the century and he wasn't. I guess you wouldn't consider him heel for that, but when he turned on the Shield, like yeah, that he was a good heel for. I mean, he's good for that. Yeah.
Big Timmy.
Hey, Timmy.
Okay. Okay, so my number 1 is actually going to be Triple H.
Good heel.
Everybody forget about him. I don't know what happened there.
He
but
showed up with a
everybody-
sledgehammer. You
Not
better
only
not be
that,
around.
man, in the 90s and the early 2000s, he was the heel. Where do you think Randy Orton learned it from?
That is true. I can't believe I forgot.
Like Evolution turned on Randy Orton because of Triple H.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
So I mean, he is the best heel out there. My second one's actually going to be The Rock. He was an amazing heel when he was a bad guy. I think he was better as a bad guy than he was a good guy. Obviously, WWE made more money off him being a good guy, so therefore he was that more often than not. So I'd have him, especially with his promos. Man, his promos were hilarious.
Disrespectful Rock was great.
Exactly. Like when he was with the Authority or whatever, and then the Nation. Yeah, the Nation. So The Rock, Triple H, and then this is where it gets a little difficult. I'm gonna throw Randy Orton in there, and then my 4th is going to be
Vince McMahon.
I ain't gonna be no Vince McMahon.
No.
There are 2 ACLs walking down. the ring.
Wait, no, we had a comment in there that said Vince McMahon.
Oh yeah, no. My 4th is definitely going to be. I wouldn't say definitely, but there's a lot of them in my head. Let's go with 4th is gonna be Hulk Hogan with NWO. So, bro, when he turned, everybody hated him immediately. The moment they started doing that, everybody hated him. And then my honorable mention, I'll go ahead and name somebody from this era because I did have a lot of old heads in that. Outside of Randy Orton, my honorable mention is going to be Kevin Owens.
I'm excited for this one because I don't think anybody I got was named. But to start it off, no order, I got Bray Wyatt as a heel. I mean, he was a demon, a possessed man. I don't know. I always was.
I honestly forgot about Bray Wyatt.
It's like he was Undertaker level of just popping up on you. That crab walk he used to do or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like he was a devil, a menace. I got Kane in mind, the original devil, the literal red devil. I remember there was a movie with Kane in it, and I watched him get hit in the back of the head with a steel pipe, and his head busted open, and it was worms inside, and it freaked me out forever. And I was always scared of Kane. I got Stone Cold in mind because, like EB said earlier when he mentioned Stone Cold, he'll show up 2 birds, and you're catching a beer spike to the head and a stunner right after.
Every time.
You're going to get beer dumped on top of you, too.
My 4th spot, I was excited. No one stole this one from me. I got JBL.
Bro, that's honestly where I was going. If I did not go with Hulk Hogan, it was JBL.
JBL was a shit talking motherfucker.
Oh yeah, he was probably one of the best heels, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's just like it was hard to debate with my list too, but like that was gonna be one of mine for sure.
I thought for sure, huh?
Did you see that video that resurfaced of JBL, like that skit he did back in the day, and he saw like they were supposed to be like Mexicans crossing.
Oh yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
hey, get back over there! Do not come over here. Next time, it's gonna be problems.
I always thought he was funny, man.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the best on the mic heels for sure.
Yeah, he would say some disrespectful shit, and it wouldn't necessarily be like menacing. It wouldn't be funny, but you felt disrespected. Like you wanted to hit him in the mouth at all times. And with my honorable mention, I got Eddie Guerrero again. making my list somewhere in here. I loved seeing
So we
any
do this and
conflict he
not-
had.
Everybody had the same list. That was nice.
Yeah, every conflict that he had, I was a part of. I loved it. He got my attention every time he was talking shit to somebody, sneaking somebody. He was a snake. He was a snake, but he was a good snake. I liked it.
Yeah, I miss Eddie Guerrero, man. It was crazy when he first passed away. Like,
RP.
I didn't believe it. Like I remember when I was watching the episode after that, like they announced it. Like
That
ridiculous.
was like when Edge had to retire. I didn't believe it.
It's one of those.
Sorry,
Did
sorry.
TMZ report on it yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we confirm the source?
We need to know.
So as our last subject, we're gonna round it up here. I wanna go, in my opinion. This is gonna be everybody's different opinion. Top 3 greatest matches of all time.
This one's tough.
It is tough, but that's why we're doing it. I want it to be hard for everybody. So, Big Timmy,
You said top 3. Why don't we do top 4?
we can do
top
top
4 with
4.
everybody else.
We'll do top 4,
Yeah.
and we'll give our honorable mention. Big Timmy,
You want me to start it out?
Big Timmy, we're gonna start with you. I don't think Vaughn's on the call anymore. So,
Okay.
Oh yeah,
So,
see ya.
appreciate it.
Thanks for stopping by, man.
Yeah. So no particular order. Undertaker and Mick Foley.
Okay, yeah, I definitely gotta agree with you on that one.
Undertaker
Sauce
and
off the
Mick
cage.
Foley. Gotta have that one on there. It's crazy because Mick Foley's in a couple of them here. So I'm just. My second one, and that was the Hell in a Cell match, just so we're clear. My second one is also Triple H and Mick Foley in the Hell in a Cell. Those 2 matches right there, Mick Foley did a lot for the business in just those 2 matches. He didn't make none of my other lists, but he made the most important one. So, my third match of all time would have to be not everybody knows about this match, all right? So I'm probably gonna catch a lot of heat for it. But for the inaugural North American Championship match, they had a 6-man ladder match, and that to this day is the best ladder match that I've ever seen. If you've never seen it before, go back and look at it. I think it was Brooklyn Takeover back in like 2018. I'm telling you, you'll be amazed at what they do in that match. They probably broke 7 or 8 ladders. It was absolutely ridiculous. And then my last match of all time is going to be Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker in his retirement match at WrestleMania.
Okay.
Undertaker made 2 of them too. So yeah.
I'm gonna go next if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, I'm still. I need some research on this one. I wasn't ready for 3 or 4.
All right, so first one, I'm gonna have to go Mick Foley and Undertaker just because that match was one of the craziest things we've ever seen before. That was the first time anybody's been like off the cage, so to speak. And this is just so we're clear. I maybe should have cleared this up before you started, Big Timmy. I'm not just talking about singles matches here.
No, I know.
Next one I got is the triple threat tag team match with the Dudley Boys, Edge and Christian,
Good.
and the Hardy Boys.
The reason I didn't put that on there because it's not my best ladder match. My best ladder match is the NXT ladder match. That's why I put that up.
Listen, I think that's one of the greatest of all times. Next one I got is the triple threat between John Cena, Randy Orton, and Triple H. I don't know if you guys remember that match.
That was the slobber knocker in
that
the words of the great JR.
that was one of my favorite matches to watch. And then I'm gonna have to put the next one with Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton, in my opinion, when Jeff Swantoned him off the, I don't even know what you properly call that, but the steel thing that they hang the lights on. Like, I think that was one of the best matches ever. So that's my top 4. My honorable mention, man. I think that Stone Cold and Kevin Owens had a great match at WrestleMania. I'm not saying it's nothing crazy, but that's in my honorable mentions. I think they put on a hell of a show for the age that Stone Cold was. So, Trey, we're gonna start with you, or not start, but
Before I did that, my honorable mention is Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber this year.
Okay.
I'm gonna start mine with Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Which one? Match 1 or match 2?
2009 match 1. The Heaven and Hell theme.
Yeah, I got
I
you.
thought that was
the
a great
best
match.
entrance ever.
Yeah, I love that match. I thought the match was great. Undertaker kept his streak alive, of course, but Shawn Michaels had you thinking he might have won that. Shawn Michaels might have had you on the ropes on that one. I got the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian and the Dudleys tag team in mind. That one was crazy. I got Bret Hart versus Steve Austin back in the day.
Ooh, I forgot about that.
And then I've got Foley versus Taker. I'm looking for an honorable mention right now. And I think I'm not going to look no further and just think back in memory to when Randy Orton and Seth Rollins fought at WrestleMania and he caught the RKO out of the curb stomp.
Mm-hmm.
I remember we was in the car either on the way to or from Florida watching that in the car. All in your car, all stuffed in the van. Me, you, Ryan, we was packed in that motherfucker and we was just watching, bro. And I remember Randy Orton throwing him off his neck, catching that RKO. That was one of the most like burned in my head WWE memories I got. That was crazy. I exploded. That was fun. I loved it.
All right, EB.
Okay, this is gonna sound like I'm favoring John Cena very biasly. So let me get this one out the way. The Mick Foley versus Undertaker Hell in a Cell getting thrown off the cage.
Right.
That is top.
Everybody,
tier.
yeah.
Everybody got that one. We got to hit the
Top
applaud
tier.
button.
Yeah, let's get that one out the way for sure. And then next, I got the one like Ryan, Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton when he swanton bombed
Yes.
on Monday Night Raw. Are you kidding me?
Not even no pay-per-view or nothing.
Yeah, like
that
that was this.
We're just bringing this out.
Right. So that's definitely number 2, self-explanatory. Number 3, I'm going John Cena return to the Royal Rumble.
Oh,
When
okay.
he came back after
Bro, that crowd went
nuts.
berserk. I remember
That's when he had his black
had
shirt
his
with
orange
the orange lettering.
and the white
Yes.
lining. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that was like,
Hustle, loyalty, respect. Yep,
that
I
was
remember.
a top moment for me as a kid watching him return. So after that, I'm going John Cena versus RVD at ECW.
Oh,
The
yeah, that's a sleeper.
Championship. That crowd was very hostile.
They're
RVD
throwing stuff at him.
Even though RVD won the match, that was a great match. That John Cena was in unfamiliar territory. He was for not many times in his career that he was an underdog. Well,
And
early
hated.
on. Yeah, and hated like 100%, not a mixed
Right.
crowd. So that's definitely. And then my honorable mention is it's just for the simple fact that they met up once and then again John Cena versus The Rock at WrestleMania. That was
Those were
just
some.
iconic.
Those were some good matches too.
Yeah, so that's my list right there.
do we have any more honorable mentions? I mean, I know that was tough, but as far as besides the top 4 and our honorable mention there, you guys got any other ones? You
Yep,
think we
I sure
missed?
do. Shawn Michaels versus Triple H, 3 stages of hell match.
Oh, okay.
They had a street fight, a steel cage fight, and then a ladder match. All in one match.
The women's war games recently was pretty
Oh, yeah,
fire.
that was-
The women's war games was pretty all right. I like that. That was crazy.
I also want to say the year that the Hardys came back, when they had the tag team, like the 4-way tag team for the ladder match.
championships.
Yeah, I felt like that's another honorable mention of mine. Everybody just balled out on that one. What about you, EB? You got any?
Any more honorable mentions? John Cena and Randy Orton I Quit match.
Oh,
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
good one when he put the handcuff on him and choked him around his
Mhm.
face. I quit. Yeah, that's definitely up there for me too.
Edge and Foley in the table on fire match.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I
the
forgot
tags.
about that.
I was hyping that up on the way
WrestleMania.
I wish
here.
they brought more of those matches back, man. Like the ones where they light them on fire. I'm sure it's liability, but
Why don't you go out there and get lit on fire? See how many more you want to do.
listen, I'm sure they don't want to do too many of them. But come on now.
Kane and Undertaker's buried alive match.
Ooh, yes.
like anyone in
So we
there.
got to throw him in here somewhere because he didn't make any lists, which is crazy.
Who?
AJ Styles when they were beating up John Cena all the time.
Oh man.
any scenario, they did it a lot.
Yeah, I was
he
gonna
just
say,
thrown it out. No man, just when they was beating his ass every other week.
Yeah, no, if I had to pick a match, it'd have been the one at Battleground that they had.
You're talking about the one where it was like
This is when John Cena won, I think, his 15th title.
I can't remember the. You're talking about the one where AJ Styles went out to like Undertaker's, like they had that little I don't know if that was during COVID.
No, he didn't. He fought John Cena in like 2018, brother.
Oh, you're good. Oh, I was just trying to figure out if that's I thought you were talking about that match.
Undertaker and AJ.
Yeah,
How do you think I was talking about that match when I said AJ and John Cena?
I just thought that's what you said. You said Battleground, so that's where I got that from. My
I
bad.
got something for you, Ryan. You ready?
All right, let's hear it.
Mount Rushmore of finishers.
Oh, yeah.
Signatures count too if you want. Finishing move.
All right, who we
A
starting with?
special move.
Who you guys want to start with?
Go ahead, EB. Speak up. Top 4
Okay.
finishing moves.
An honorable mention, right?
Okay.
Yeah, we've been throwing them in there.
Listen, I'm telling y'all, if y'all don't have this one move in there, all 4 of you or 3 of you.
Okay. I'm going. Of course, I'm going the spear. Of course, this is going to be in no particular order because it's just that.
Yeah, they're all there. There's so many.
I'm going the spear for sure. I'm going the Stone Cold Stunner. I'm going RKO, and then I'm going. What did Evan Bourne used to do?
Oh,
They called it airborne.
Shooting star
The
splash. No, it's called
it's like where you jump
it's
backwards.
It's literally the
Jump
shooting
straight
star
place.
press.
You do
Okay.
a backflip.
Yeah,
with it.
that's
Yeah.
that's definitely
He called it that because it was his finisher. But
Yeah,
the
yeah,
actual
but that's what
move's
I'm
called
saying.
the shooting star
Yeah.
press.
right.
You know who created that?
Ooh.
Brock Lesnar.
What?
Broke his neck.
Yeah.
Broke his neck and then never did it again.
That's why
told him,
Big
they
men
said
don't
you
jump.
can't do that no more.
Right, you too big.
That used to be his finisher. That used to be what he did
That's
for his finisher. And
crazy.
he was way bigger back then too.
Right, yeah. I would have never thought of that.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
crazy.
My honorable mention, my guy John Cena. I'm gonna call it the FU, not the attitude adjustment. I'm
Yes,
calling it
sir.
the FU.
A little more attitude with it, huh?
Yeah, yes, sir. And the STFU. They go in together.
We got a comment coming in from Colin says because Brock's trash. All right, Big Timmy. We'll go with you next.
All right. Well, I'm sorry, Colin, but I have the F5 on mine.
Oh, he came in and the Undertaker's number 1.
Yeah, I have the F5 Tombstone Pile Driver,
Oh yeah.
and then I have the 5-star Frog Splash,
Mhm.
and then for my last one, it's kind of tough. My last one, I'm gonna throw in a submission. I'm gonna have the figure 4 leg lock.
Ooh. Speaking of different things, sorry, Colin's dropping his list here in the comments here. He got Taker number 1, John Cena number 2, Shawn Michaels number 3. I don't think he's typed anymore, but he's
Also, my honorable mention for a finishing move would be the 3 Amigos that Eddie Guerrero used to do.
Okay.
Colin's coming in it well. He said that submission move's trash. The figure 4.
All right, let me put you in it. We'll see how trash it is.
All right, Trey, go ahead and go with yours.
The choke slam.
Oh, really?
Bro.
That's in your top 5?
Bro, who didn't do the choke
That's the original.
I mean, it's a choke slam.
I mean, okay.
It's not the flashiest
You could have
move.
said suplex,
But it gets it done. It's the choke slam. You've been hit with it. You've been hit with it. Everybody's been hit or done a choke slam. I used to do it to Mason all the time. He was so little. He just there was just something about picking a motherfucker up by his head. The RKO, of course, it's out of nowhere. It's from anywhere.
Colin's coming in hot with the finisher moves. He said break down the walls, RKO, pedigree, sweet chin music. Any of those would have been better than the choke slam.
No, I got the choke slam up there, man. Fuck everybody. That's iconic. My third spot, I got the sweet chin music. Everybody loves a kick in the face.
Yeah.
This one's one of my
Put some
personal
respect
favorites
on it.
on the 4th, just because I used to think of how bad it would really hurt, like if it really happened. But to go to sleep when he first came out,
That hurts my knee.
bro, when he used to throw a motherfucker in there and he just land, like imagine chin first landing on someone's knee out of 5, 6, 7 feet in the air. That one would really. I remember when he first came out and was doing that. I remember putting it on my character in the game.
I
Like,
used to love putting it on
you're
my
going to
character on the
sleep.
game.
You're
Yes.
going to sleep. And just because, man, I don't even remember what it's called at this point, but Santino is my the Cobra is coming in my honorable mention.
No, you fucking
Yes,
didn't.
sir. Yes,
You did
sir.
not.
No way you put a
Sir.
motherfucker to sleep with a sock on, bro. And he did it. He put
Hold
people
on.
to sleep.
He's not
with
the
a
first
sock.
person to put a motherfucker to sleep with a sock.
Oh, I get it. Yeah,
Don't
I
forget
get it.
about Sacco.
Yeah, but he
He did
really used to
not
just
do
put that
that.
play little puppet on, bro. And it was always the action.
you go.
No, he did not. Oh
Said,
my
I'm gonna
God.
get you, John Cena.
Yeah, bro. Santino's move, man, got me going. I always loved it.
You know he's one of the longest reigning Intercontinental Champions.
That's insane.
And it started off because Umaga wanted a challenger and came out from the stands.
did
I'll
not.
never forget.
The level of disrespect.
Santino Murillo was a character, man. He always made me laugh for the wrong reasons. It was always at him, not with him. But I remember throwing that on my character, fucking around, just because it's like, damn, bro, you gonna get beat by the sock move? You're gonna let me put you down with the sock move?
Also, nobody probably knows this move because it's was done by NXT Superstar, but it's called Feast Your Eyes, and it's almost like to go to sleep. Except for he puts, you know how Bianca Belair puts you up like this,
Mhm.
and then he throws you backwards and you land on it.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, I've
You
seen
know
that.
what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That one's a dope move too.
Yeah. There's a bunch of ones.
Wish I had a
man,
TV. I'd show the whole everybody what it is. I'm telling you that one.
I like moonsaults myself as well. I
Alright.
do like moonsaults.
So number
Especially if they
one,
can do it good.
I got is the RKO. I think just because you can literally do
Almost
it on
like curb
anybody, I think he's had some of the best, finishers as far as when he went to go do the curve stomp and he RKO'd him, or
Dude.
when Evan Bourne got RKO'd, or
How's
just
that movie? You
just
talking
any
about?
of
The
them.
move I
You've
remember
almost
that.
been RKO'd out of your finisher move if you fought him.
Yeah.
Like he turns your move around into his.
We got another comment coming in before I finish my list from Ty Cox. I ain't heard 619 and I'm about to get upset.
It's all right. We want to hear it.
All right, so
That might be last on my list, Ty.
yeah, I don't know. I think the 619. It's definitely not in my honorable mention. That's for sure. Number 2. There's so many different types of spears, but I'm gonna have to go with Roman Reigns' spear. He literally looks like
A missile.
like it's just right on impact.
The only problem I have
Bobby
with his
Lashley's
spear,
better though.
the only problem I have with Roman spear is that he got to do it on another big guy because when his big ass spear a little guy, it looked funny.
He
He
flips,
said it looks
he flips him inside out.
It's like he almost like football tackles him instead of a spear because they're
Yeah.
so little. He got to like wrap them up. It just
Right.
looked funny when he hit a little guy. With a spear.
Next one I have on there, just because if it actually happens, I think Code Breaker. That would hurt so bad.
Mm.
Code Breaker.
And you can also kind of do that one out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You can
And
catch
don't-
one off the top, bro, but you're doing
You don't want to do that.
I put the 619 over the code breaker.
What?
I put the
No.
619 over the code breaker.
I just
Ty
feel like
Cox.
the 619 is so hard to land. It takes so much time. Like the RKO and the code breaker
I
and the
said-
super kick.
I got
I said honorable mention.
a
Stink
stink
face.
face.
For sure. Hey, shout out to Rikishi.
So at number 4 coming in, I got the super kick, man. It's not the sweet chin music. I got the super kick because I'm not trying to tune up the band before I got to kick a motherfucker. Like, come on now, I just need to kick him.
You don't always got to do the charged
Oh,
finisher.
it's either a super kick or sweet chin music. If you're doing the sweet chin music, you got to tune it up. You can't have a band that's
True.
not tuned.
True. Nobody named the.
My honorable
go
mentions
ahead
the
first.
Swan Tom Bomb, Kiss My Ass. Like
For
that's a move, man.
No one mentioned the Superman
Right.
punch, bro. If you
Uh,
get really Superman punched in real life, bro, you know how bad that would hurt.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I can think of cooler things. Like I like Cody Rhodes' move where
It's
he
the, oh, I punched
off the
you.
rope,
Now you're
does
off
that
the
little,
first
like-
hands.
You're not talking about the Cody cutter, are you?
yeah, the Cody. Cutter.
You think
mean-
when he
you
does
mean
this,
the-
he gets a superpower?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, shit.
he goes Super Saiyan, guys. Come on now. But
If anything, he's a Vegeta kind of guy.
that rounds
Always
out of
coming in second.
the air as far as that goes. Let's see, trying to check out some of the comments here. I think that rounds up for us today, guys. This is our WWE special. Next time, leave some comments in if you want to hear us talk about a certain subject as far as or a wrestler or a match that we may not have missed and you think it's important enough to be on here. Go ahead and drop a comment. We got some comments
Hey.
coming in here. We got Ty Cox.
Next
Nobody
Tuesday, we should
says
do UFC.
Walls of Jericho. He said that's the real pain.
No, you ain't lying. I've been putting that plenty of times.
Yes,
All right, we're gonna
Um,
come off with a short story here, real quick. Me and Trey, we all grew up watching wrestling. So we used to all stay at each other's house and stuff like that. Obviously, we'd practice on every wrestling move that we had, but we used to go tease my brother and go knock on his door and then like run back to the bedroom.
Ryan,
Ryan ain't shit for this one.
hold me hard.
So I told him, I said, if you go knock on the door, I'll go build the fort. Fort meaning if he came back and got us, like we'd be cool.
We was protected. We had a little fortress built back there because
Or some blankets.
Well, when I built the fort, I built it for myself.
He didn't build it big for two. It was the Titanic situation where it was big enough for two people, but he didn't want to scoot over, so I had to drown.
Go ahead, Trey. Tell him the
Bro, he
rest of
put
it.
me in a sharpshooter with a crutch. With a crutch, he weaved my legs through the crutch and put me in a sharpshooter.
Yeah.
a
Right,
crutch.
just like, glad it's not me.
Cause Zach, bro, he always had foot problems growing up. He probably had
Too many
22
13
surgeries.
surgeries.
So he was always in a boot, had some crutches or something, bro. He was handicapped at the time with his foot laid up with a boot on, and he was walking around with crutches. So they took one of his crutches, bro, and chased me back there. And I'm thinking, I'm about to be safe. Me and Ryan's cool. We're gonna lock the door. For one, he was faster than me, so I didn't even get the door closed. And he caught me, and he grabbed the crutch and he laid me on my stomach, bro, and weaved my legs through the little holes in the crutch, bro, and just pulled back
Man,
on it.
What was it you said when you came back to the bedroom?
I don't
It was
remember, but it
funny
was
as hell.
hilarious. Like I said something. I said something, and it was iconic, man. And like if it would have been on TV, people would have remembered that scene forever. Just what I said when I came back in there. It was something along the lines of "You lied."
Yeah, there had to have been something like that, but that's just our one little memory there. But we appreciate everybody joining in, commenting. If you could go ahead, like, follow, share the post, it greatly.
I don't know if it's solid yet, but next Tuesday we might hop in an NBA special.
Yeah,
Depths
that's
of the
what it's looking
playoffs,
like. We'll have
New
episode.
guests.
Sometime as well, we need to do a UFC special.
We got an
We
episode
gotta,
6.
the problem with that is you gotta wait for the fight.
No, I'm talking about like almost like what we did now, like
Oh,
Mount
yeah,
Rushmore
okay,
UFC,
yeah.
like
Yeah, for
just
sure.
go by like division
Oh,
or something.
yes.
That'd be tough.
That'd be epic.
We
Yeah, it'd be
got-
tough too because there's a lot of like all time. There's a lot of good fighters. That's gonna bring up some real heat.
Oh yeah.
We got
That'd be dope.
episode 6 coming Sunday live as well. We'll and then we usually always do our specials on Tuesdays. So
Every Tuesday, man, hour-long special about whatever y'all want to hear.
if you can't check out the video content, it will be on YouTube as well. You can always check us out on any audio platform, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, all of the above. And make sure to check out our TikTok page for all of our shorts and our YouTube shorts as well.
Man,
We got some-
interact, man. I'm over here coming up with all these topics all the time. Every Sunday, every Tuesday, we be doing. We need some advice, man. Leave some.
Yeah, so if you
y'all
guys-
want to hear about something, man,
Yeah,
we'd love to hear it.
leave
These
it in the
topics hard
comments
to come up with.
If there's a subject you want us to cover, a sport or a specific team or something you guys want us to talk about, definitely leave a comment. Helps us out. We appreciate it.
We check them all. At least Ryan does.
Yes. Until next time, guys. We'll catch you Sunday.
Peace.